today's video is going to be about the KSG12, but I want to take a moment and recognize that our channel has 9 subscribers. This is monumental. Never has such a thing occurred in the history of YouTube. We've got 9 loyal followers, and today I hope to give you some useful information about shotguns and their role in home defense and the KSG on this channel. So thanks for hanging out with us, and without further ado, this is the KSG. It's incredible. We're going to get to that, but first off, I want to answer the question, are shotguns good for home defense? This question has been answered 1,000 different times on YouTube, so I'm going to try and give you information that maybe isn't as common on YouTube. I mean, the short answer is yes. Shotguns are excellent for home defense, and we're going to show you why, at least in my opinion, why. I want to talk a little bit about KELTEC though. So KELTEC is one of those manufacturers that puts out really interesting firearms that are innovative and uncommon. And the designer, the genius behind KELTEC, his name's George. Definitely Google machine George, check him out. Incredible inventor, genius. This is one of his inventions here, and it's called the KSG12 for 12 gauge. But a couple things that make this incredible is, one, it's a bullpup, and I'm going to show you a comparison to a full-length rifle so you can see the shortness. Okay, but that's basically what the bullpup is. The action is in the stock here, so it brings the full 16-inch barrel back, you know, making a nice short package. The second thing that's incredible about this shotgun is it's got 2 tubes. Okay, inside of there, these are your tubes, and down here you can see them. Okay, these are your tubes. That means that I can fit 2 3/4 inch shells. I can fit 7 in each tube, 1 in the chamber. Now math is hard, but what it equates to is 15 12 gauge rounds. Okay, that's incredible. 12 gauge is highly destructive. 15 of those bad boys, you're not gonna have to worry about much. KELTEC's got a reputation for being, well, I've heard the term plastic junk before. I've heard the term space plastic, Tupperware. But the thing is, you know, that may be true for some of KELTEC's guns, but I can only give you my opinion based on this sample size of 1, okay? And my opinion, in the years that I've owned this shotgun, fired multiple different rounds through it, I've never had an issue with it. It's very well built, in my opinion, and it does not feel like junk to me. Feels like a solid gun. The price is also affordable. You know, it's a little higher, a higher end price for a pump action, but I think it's worth it. You can find them frequently on sale for like 600 units a measure, but I think they retail for closer to 800-900 units a measure. I think the price is absolutely worth it. So to address the idea of KELTEC being junk, I totally disagree, you know, completely, especially for just home defense purposes. Shotguns have an amazing assortment of shells that you can put through them. Okay, these represent 2 spectrums of the shotgun universe. On one side you've got super sport competition target loads, okay, but these are 12 gauge 2 3/4 inch. These are made for target, you know, but I would not want to be on the other end of this if it was used against me. Okay, so these are extremely light recoiling shells with a large pattern, okay, of little teeny shots, and we're going to demonstrate why that would be useful in a home defense situation. This represents more of a self-defense, quote-unquote, round. Okay, this is your high velocity buckshot by Black Aces Tactical GT9, and this is 12 gauge 2 3/4 inch. Buckshot is very powerful. It's a tighter grouping on the target. So here's what the target loads look like. Okay. These are 2 3/4 inch. Relatively inexpensive. And here's what the buckshot looks like. These are also 2 3/4 inch. Okay. These are a little pricier, but that's because it's double-aught buck. It's a lot more powerful. We're going to show you that. We're going to show you an example of that. This is Huey, Louie, and Dewey. Okay. Now Huey here had the bright idea to break into your house. You know, maybe he's looking for Pop-Tarts or something. And Louie does whatever Huey does. So no argument from Louie. And Dewey, he can't even talk. So he's just kind of following these idiots around. So you got 3 idiots basically. Huey in the front here, he's an experienced B&E guy, right? So he's gonna kick that door down and he's gonna bum rush down the hallway. But you heard something, right? So you woke up, you grabbed your KSG, and you're waiting down your hallway, right? So I'm gonna walk down now to the end of the hallway. Okay, so now you're at the end of your hallway, and that represents your door at the end of the hallway, right? And you're waiting for those guys to come in, and you've already got the shotgun ready to go, so you're kind of just waiting for them to bust through the door. And this particular load I got in here now is a target load, but I'm hoping that it's going to demonstrate that in one shot we can get Huey, Louie, and Dewey to, at the very least, pause and try to collect themselves in a single shot, all 3. Okay, so here's Huey, here's Louie, here's Dewey. It looks like Huey here took the brunt of the shot. Okay, he was the first man in the door, right? Louie here, he got hit too. Like, you can't see this, but there are so many little holes in his face. He's not having a good day. Okay, I know this may not be a lethal situation for Louie, but Louie is not having a good day. Okay, he's in a lot of pain. Dewey here got real lucky. Dewey didn't get, he might have gotten 1 or 2 little BBs in his face. Okay, that's still gonna hurt a lot, guys. So in one shot, you can hit all 3 guys at the end of the hallway. Okay, and now they're freaking out. You know, Huey is probably on the ground grabbing his face and screaming. Louie over here is looking at Huey like, oh God, what do we do? And then he realizes that his face is full of holes. And Dewey is completely freaked out. You know, he has no idea what to do. So while they're trying to figure their stuff out, that's when we're gonna switch over to our second tube. Our second tube has buckshot in it. Okay, so Huey, Louie, and Dewey, they're stopped in their tracks. With one shot, they're stopped in their tracks. They're freaking out, they're panicking. Now's our time to seal the deal here. This is the double-aught buckshot that I have tuned this shotgun to. It loves it, loves this stuff, and my optic is set up for this shot. So I'm gonna load these shells into this, but you would have these loaded ahead of time into your second tube. And really easily, you hit that little lever I showed you, and you've swapped over to your second tube. So we're gonna pick up from there. Okay, so Huey, Dewey, and Louie, they're freaking out, they're stopped. Now you're gonna switch to your second tube. You're gonna rack that shell into the chamber. That sound right there is beautiful. And let's see what buckshot can do. Huey, Louie, and Dewey are no more, and your home is safe. Just want to give you a little bit of a close-up here of the aftermath of our demonstration. And I hope what you can see by this is that a shotgun provides you a couple different ways to take care of your home defense. You can, in one fell swoop, stop the intended target in their tracks, and then by easily switching to the other tube, you can put an end to that threat. And I'd say quite effectively based on these results. You could have 3-inch shells and they make shorties, you know, shorter shells. And those have been proven to be very effective. And it's going to give you more capacity, right? Because they're shorter, so they're sitting in the tube. Okay, so if you have shorter shells, you can fit more in the tube. But you got to try, every shotgun, every firearm prefers certain ammo over others. So you have to try different ammos and different weapons to know what your weapon prefers. I've shot a whole lot of this out of this KELTEC and some of this, but I know it likes them both. Versatility. Besides versatility in your ammo decision, giving you a greater range of purposes that you could be looking to fill, versatility in action types with shotguns. You know, there's break action shotguns, lever action shotguns, pump action shotguns like this one, and semi-auto action shotguns. And who knows, I could probably be missing one or two. I'm not a firearms expert, okay? But the reason why I like a pump is because this doesn't care about ammo from a cycling perspective, okay? That when I say cycle, I mean, do I have to worry about the next round going into the chamber and being ready to go when I want it to? Okay, that's when you have a semi-auto shotgun, it's loading that next round based off the recoil of the first shot. Okay, and a really simple explanation for that. So if the shotgun doesn't like that ammo and it doesn't cycle all the way or properly, well, your next round may not go where it needs to go and may not be ready for you. Whereas with a pump, well, yeah, I know it's going to be there because I am physically pumping that round into the chamber. So pump action, in my opinion, is a more reliable choice. All right, so here's KSG. I'm going to give you some details about it, some manual of arms, I suppose. You have a pretty decent pistol grip here. KELTEC is known for this sort of waffle pattern. So this is a KELTEC thing. Feels good in the hand. It's got a nice trigger. You know, nothing special, but what you want in a shotgun. Down here, you've got your action release. So if I hold that down, I could cycle the action freely. Okay. Safety is here on the side. This little box with an S on it, that stands for safe. Okay. If I push that, that little S is going to turn into an F on the other side. Okay. That means fun. Okay. So you want to be safe until you're ready to fire. Then you're going to be in fun mode. Okay. So those are those two guys. Here's your actual mechanism for pumping the shotgun. And I'm going to tell you a little more about the accessories I added to mine later, but that's that. And on the front, you've got your tubes. Okay, you can access the springs in these tubes by undoing those. Got a nice Picatinny rail up here. It's T-marked. And what that means is, you know, you can count the spaces in between each Picatinny spot so you can remember where you mounted stuff. When you take it off, you want to put it back on, that kind of thing. And finally, you've got your action and ejection all happens here. Your bolt is right here, it cycles back and forth. Your round gets ejected through the same area down, straight down. And your loading is through these tubes here. Okay, tube number 1, tube number 2, and the switcher. So I could have one tube filled with birdshot, one filled tube with buck, and we're going to show you a scenario where you might want to do that for home defense. Switch between them really easily. Okay, and that's basically it for the KSG. It does not come with iron sights or any sort of optic. Today I'm rocking this Holosun. It's one of those apocalypse proven optics because it's got a solar panel on it and it's relatively tough, right? So that's what we're looking for in the wasteland here. So first tube, target load. So we're kind of close here. See what that pattern looks like up close. Okay. Okay, here's a good demonstration of what it looks like on paper. So you see all these little BBs? All these little BBs are going to stop your intended target. They're going to stop them in their tracks and give you a second to do what you got to do. Also, if you're not great at shooting or your eyesight's bad, you know, you could be aiming here or aiming here and still put BBs on target. So this is a big advantage of target load in a shotgun. To give you an idea of, you know, how fast you can shoot this thing, I'm not going to go as fast as I possibly can, but you can shoot it pretty quick. We're going to switch over to our buckshot. Okay, I'm going to shoot the target on your right with one shell of my target load because I loaded it already. And then we're going to be feeding from the buckshot side. Okay, let's go take a look. Felt the camera flopping around a little bit. So this represents buckshot. Okay? Enough said. Okay, so on the table, you can see my KSG. Now it's a bullpup. It's got a full 16-inch barrel here. Above it is my Geisley Super Duty. That also has a full 16-inch barrel. I think one thing you'll notice right off the bat is KSG is a lot shorter. Okay, that's a major advantage of a bullpup. And when we're talking inside your home, in tight hallways, in door frames, this is much handier, much easier to wield. I wouldn't shy away from picking this up. However, this is a much better fit for tighter corners, tight rooms, interior. So there's a nice comparison to give you an idea of just how much shorter this shotgun is because of its bullpup configuration. All right, the accessories that I've done to the shotgun to make it a little more my style, okay, and I think it helps improve the function. I added this vertical foregrip here. It's a Magpul vertical foregrip. And what it does is it lets me grab here to run the action. This, in my opinion, is better because it's more leverage, a little easier to run the action there. After the camera stopped shaking. What I did add though, okay, I added a metal rail here so that the vertical grip interfaces with a metal rail and the metal rail interfaces with the plastic foregrip. So this way the connection is to a piece of metal in the middle. It's not just plastic on plastic. That makes it a little more tough. Okay, and this little guy here is just an index. Keeps my finger in a safe spot because the last thing you want to do is have an issue where your hand is a little too close to that muzzle, right? And speaking of the muzzle, so the muzzle here got a really simple break, got little spikes here. This acts as a standoff device so I could use it directly up against something like a door frame and fire around. And then on top, I've got this Holosun. I talked a little bit about this before, but this particular Holosun has a bullseye red dot, so it's a circle and a dot in the center of that circle. And I zeroed this in a way so that at an average 7-ish yards, my pattern for my preferred buckshot load falls within the circle. So this is specifically zeroed for this shotgun and it lives on this shotgun. What's really cool about this optic though is it has a solar panel. That's what Holosun's kind of known for. And I haven't changed the battery yet. And when the sun is shining, you aren't using the battery at all. So this is a fantastic optic and I haven't had any issues with it to this date. And besides that, came in this sling, right? This sling came in the box. I just strapped it on there and it's been perfectly fine. Works great. So that's all the accessories I got on this KELTEC. Other than the foregrip, a little metal piece for the foregrip, and this optic and this muzzle device, it's bone stock and it runs perfectly fine. Final thoughts. Shotgun shells are kind of bulky. I think because they're bulky, it makes it a little difficult to choose this as a gun that I'm going to have out with me on patrol, in the woods, in the fields, during the apocalypse. Probably have a rifle, you carry a lot more rounds, a lot less bulky, probably less weight too, weight per round. Every shotgun is different, okay? You have to try different kinds of ammo in your shotgun, see how it patterns, see how accurate it is. Choose the ammo that your shotgun likes. And I love my KSG. Man, this thing is so much fun to shoot. It's so useful with its 2 tubes. It's so wieldy because of the bullpup configuration. I absolutely love it. And final word, I just want to thank again everybody who's watching this. I want to thank my loyal 9 subscribers. We did it, guys. We got to 9. That's awesome. Let me know if there's anything else you want to know about this shotgun. Let me know if I didn't capture something that you need captured. And just remember that every time a pump action shotgun pumps, you know, a criminal gets its wings. Okay, so don't try this at home on what you call professional. And thanks for watching. KSG, good for home defense? I'd say yes.